Oasis Audio presents The Beach House in Bar Harbor, Secrets in Maine, Book 2, by Amy Rafferty. Read for you by Anne Richardson. To Roslyn, Nikki, Chris, and Franklin, thank you for your support, friendship, and inspiration. Chapter 1. Rose Davenport groaned and pulled her pillow over her head. She was trying to block out the incessant barking of her neighbor's dog. She rolled over and saw that it was almost 5 a.m, and the dog had been making that horrible noise since 3. "Jeffrey, can't you hear your dog?" Rose grumbled to her empty room. She pulled her pillow off her head and threw a thrashing tantrum on her bed in frustration. Rose couldn't stand constant noises, like a fly buzzing in a room or a dog barking for hours. It drove her crazy. She had to find the noise source and make it stop, or remove the offender. Rose couldn't remove Jeffrey Peters, but she had considered swatting him for neglecting his dog. "All right, I'm going to have to go over there." Rose took a deep breath, threw back her covers, and jumped out of bed. She changed her pajamas for a sweater and sweatpants before slipping on her sneakers. Rose scraped her unruly cap of dark auburn curls back into a ponytail before heading to the front door. She stopped when she realized she didn't have her phone and went to get it. Rose might need to call animal control if Jeffrey wasn't at home. Does Bar Harbor even have animal control? Rose wondered out loud. Of course, they must have. She shook her head. There are a few wild animals on the island. Rose lived in the pool house at the back of her childhood home. She'd returned to Bar Harbor from Boston 2 months ago. After her life in Boston shattered into a million pieces, Rose couldn't bear to be there anymore. She looked up at the large, looming manor house, noting that none of the lights were on. Rose shook her head. "Mom can sleep through anything." Rose sighed, wishing she had her mother's ability to drift off into a deep sleep at the drop of a hat. She hadn't been sleeping well at all since... Rose shook her head to clear it, feeling her eyes moisten with the sting of tears and a lump form in her throat. "No," Rose admonished herself, walking down the lane to the front pedestrian gate. "You're not going to think about it or wallow any more." Rose let herself through the pedestrian gate of the high walls that enclosed the estate and across the pavement to the gate of the Peters house. She rang the bell a few times, but there was no answer. "Shoot," Rose said frustratedly, walking back up the lane of her house and to her mother's shed. She opened it and found the long stepladder, which she grabbed and carted to the wall that separated the properties. Luckily, this wall was not as high as the front one of the Peters estate, and it didn't have electric wiring around it. Rose patted the pocket of her sweatpants, ensuring her keys were in them. "All I need right now is to lock myself out of my home," Rose muttered, positioning the ladder and checking that it was planted correctly. "I don't want to fall and break any bones either." Rose carefully climbed the ladder to the top of the wall and looked down. Well, what do you know? Rose wanted to see that the trampoline was still there. She gave a small laugh, remembering how she and Jeffrey's sister Margot used to climb this wall and jump onto the trampoline, then run around through the gates and back to the ladder to do it repeatedly. Good grief! Maybe I had ADHD. Rose widened her eyes and shook her head as more memories of her never being able to keep still and always doing things flashed through her mind. She climbed off the ladder, moving it a few inches to the left and testing it to ensure stability before climbing to the top of the wall.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?